Hello guys and welcome back to the Coin Riches channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that many people overlooked for decades, the 1975 Spain 5 pesetas. A coin that, to some, was just loose change. But to others, it has become a symbol of a turning point in history, and for a rare few, an unexpected fortune. Picture Spain in 1975. The air was heavy with change. The country stood on the edge of transformation. After decades under General Francisco Franco, Spain was about to enter a completely new chapter. Political tension, uncertainty, hope, all of it was swirling at the same time. And in the middle of that historic shift, millions of small 5 pesetas coins were minted. Quietly. Without fanfare. No one imagined they would one day be studied, searched for, and in rare cases, valued at astonishing levels. The 1975 5 pesetas coin features the portrait of Francisco Franco. His image, stern and unmistakable, dominates the obverse. Around him, the inscriptions reflect the political identity of Spain at the time. To many older viewers watching this, that face is not just a portrait, it is a memory. It represents a specific era. A specific feeling. A Spain that no longer exists in the same form. Turn the coin over and you see the Spanish coat of arms from that period. Bold. Traditional. A symbol of national identity. The design feels solid and authoritative, much like the era it represents. The coin itself is modest in size, struck in aluminum bronze, giving it that warm golden tone that catches the light just right when you tilt it. But here's where things get interesting. Although the coin clearly shows the year 1975 on its face, the actual minting years are hidden in small star marks on the reverse. Many people don't even notice them. Inside those tiny stars are smaller dates, like 1976, 1977, even 1978. And those small details make all the difference. Because while the coin says 1975, large quantities were actually minted after Franco's death during Spain's political transition. For most people, this coin remained ordinary. It circulated widely. It was used for everyday purchases, bread, coffee, bus fare. It clinked in jars. It sat in drawers. It was forgotten in old wallets, but collectors began to notice something. Not all 1975 5 pesetas coins are equal. Some varieties were minted in significantly lower numbers. Some were struck with sharper details. Some were preserved in pristine condition, untouched, uncirculated, almost frozen in time. And in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Imagine two identical coins. One spent decades bouncing around in pockets, scratched and worn. The other sat quietly in a bank roll, sealed away from damage. To the untrained eye, they look similar. But to a seasoned collector, the difference is night and day. That untouched coin can command dramatically higher prices, and then there are the rare error coins. Yes, error coins, misaligned strikes. Off-center impressions. Double strikes. These are mistakes made during minting, and ironically, those mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Because errors are scarce. They weren't meant to exist. And scarcity drives value. For viewers in the 35 to 65 plus age group, this story carries something deeper than numbers. Many of you remember 1975. You remember the news reports. The uncertainty. The conversations around dinner tables. The shift from dictatorship toward democracy. This coin was there. It was a silent witness to Spain's transition into a constitutional monarchy under King Juan Carlos I. It's more than metal. It's a timestamp. When you hold that coin, you are holding a fragment of a nation redefining itself. And that emotional connection is powerful. Collectors don't just buy coins for profit. They buy them for meaning. For history. For legacy. Now let's talk about grading. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification. They look for luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and eye appeal. A coin graded at the highest levels, near perfect condition, can multiply in value dramatically compared to a circulated example. and here's something many people don't realize. As time passes, high-grade examples become harder to find. Coins get lost, damaged, melted, forgotten. The supply of pristine pieces shrinks. Demand, however, often grows, especially for coins tied to significant historical moments. The 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin sits at that crossroads of history and scarcity. It represents the final chapter of one era and the beginning of another. For collectors who specialize in European transitional coinage, it holds unique appeal. It marks the end of Franco's Spain and precedes the sweeping political reforms that would reshape the country. Think about that for a moment. This small coin passed through the hands of workers, families, shopkeepers, and children, all during one of the most pivotal years in Spanish history. And decades later, collectors are carefully examining those same coins under bright lights, searching for rare mint marks, flawless surfaces, and hidden errors. Some people have discovered them tucked away in old boxes, inherited from parents or grandparents. Others have found them mixed into bulk coin lots, overlooked for years. The thrill of that discovery, realizing something ordinary might be special, is what keeps collectors searching. But let me be very clear. Not every 1975 5 pesetas coin is rare. Most are still modest in value, especially in circulated condition. The key lies in specifics, mint year within the star, condition, and potential errors, and this is where patience becomes crucial. The coin market is not about hype. It's about knowledge. It's about understanding the nuances that separate common from uncommon. Those tiny star dates, often ignored, can dramatically influence collector interest. Coins with certain star dates in exceptional condition are far scarcer than people realize. For mature viewers who appreciate tangible assets, coins like this carry a certain appeal. They are physical, solid. They don't depend on passwords or digital accounts. They are history you can hold. Imagine passing such a coin down to your children or grandchildren. Not just saying, this is old money, but explaining what 1975 meant. Explaining how Spain transformed. Explaining how even small objects can survive massive change. And here's the fascinating part, interest in historical coins often grows during times of uncertainty. People gravitate toward objects that have endured. Coins from transitional periods carry stories of resilience. The 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin is exactly that. A quiet survivor. A piece of history disguised as pocket change, and for those who understand what to look for, it can be far more than its face value. Now, you might be wondering, could one of these coins actually be worth something significant? Could a simple 5 pesetas coin really command serious attention in today's market? The answer depends on details most people overlook: condition, rarity, mint variety, errors, and when those factors align just right, something remarkable can happen. When experienced collectors evaluate a 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin, they don't just glance at the large date. They immediately turn the coin and inspect the tiny stars. Inside those stars are the true minting years. Coins marked with certain star dates, particularly those produced in smaller quantities during the political transition, can be far scarcer in top condition than the general public realizes, and scarcity, combined with historical significance, is the foundation of serious value. Think about how coins survive. Most are handled roughly. They're tossed into drawers, scraped against keys, stacked in jars. Over decades, friction dulls their luster. The once sharp details soften. Tiny scratches multiply. So when a coin from 1975 emerges today in nearly flawless condition, with full original mint shine, crisp lettering, and no visible wear, collectors take notice immediately, because perfection is rare. Now add another layer: mint errors. During transitional periods, mint operations sometimes face adjustments, equipment wear, or rapid production schedules. While Spain's mints were highly professional, even the most controlled processes can produce anomalies. Off-center strikes, slightly rotated dies, double impressions, planchet imperfections. These aren't common, but they exist, and when they surface on a historically important coin like the 1975 5 pesetas, they create a powerful combination: historical piece plus manufacturing rarity. Collectors often describe moments like this as lightning in a bottle. That I've spoken with longtime numismatists who remember ignoring this coin decades ago. It was too common. Too recent. Too ordinary. But over time, as Spain moved further away from 1975, perspective changed. What once felt modern began to feel historic. What once felt abundant began to thin out in top grades, and that's how value evolves, quietly. For viewers aged 35 to 65 and beyond, this coin likely feels familiar. Perhaps you remember it in your pocket. Perhaps you saw it used in daily life. That familiarity can sometimes blind us to rarity. We assume something common in our memory must still be common today, but time reshapes supply. Coins get damaged. Melted. Lost. Exported. Forgotten. And high-grade examples shrink in number every year. Another key factor driving interest is generational collecting. Many collectors today are searching for coins connected to moments they personally experienced or remember hearing about. The mid-1970s in Spain were not just another year, they were a defining period. The death of Franco in November 1975 marked the end of a regime and the beginning of democratic reforms. This coin stands right at that historical intersection. That it represents the closing image of an era. That emotional weight cannot be overstated. Collecting is not purely financial. It's deeply psychological. Coins tied to transformative national moments carry meaning beyond metal content. Now let's talk about grading levels at the very top. Coins certified in extremely high mint state grades. In rare cases, when a 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin with a desirable star date and pristine surfaces has been graded at an exceptional level, competition among collectors can intensify dramatically. When two determined buyers want the same rare high-grade coin, price ceilings disappear, auctions become emotional, and sometimes, values leap far beyond what casual observers expect. There have been astonishing moments in the numismatic world where transitional coins, once dismissed, shocked the market. Because of condition rarity. The 1975 5 pesetas has quietly entered those conversations among specialists, but let me ground this in reality. The vast majority of 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coins are still affordable. Most circulated examples hold modest value. The dramatic prices apply only to very specific circumstances, extraordinary preservation, rare varieties, or unusual mint errors. Knowledge separates opportunity from disappointment. That if you have one of these coins, examine it carefully. Look at the stars. Use magnification. Assess the luster. Are the details sharp? Is there visible wear on Franco's portrait? Are the coat of arms lines crisp and untouched? Even slight friction on the highest points reduces grade significantly. And here's something crucial: never clean a coin. Cleaning destroys natural surfaces and can instantly reduce value. Many well-meaning people have unknowingly damaged potentially valuable coins by polishing them to make them look better. In the collector world, originality is king. Untouched surfaces matter more than shine. As Spain adopted the euro decades later, the peseta became history. Coins like the 1975 5 pesetas transformed from currency into artifacts. They stopped circulating and started aging, and aging, when paired with scarcity and significance, creates desirability. Imagine discovering one in an old family collection. You hold it up to the light. The golden tone still glows. The tiny star reveals a scarce year. The surfaces are immaculate. At that moment, you realize you're not just holding 5 pesetas. You're holding preserved history. Now, let's address the number that has captured attention. In extremely rare cases, when the right star date, exceptional mint state preservation, and strong collector demand align, this coin has reached extraordinary valuation levels. We're talking about figures that most people would never associate with a small Spanish coin from the 1970s. And yes, in those exceptional, almost unheard of circumstances, a 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin has achieved a staggering value of $91,000. Let that sink in. From everyday pocket change to a 5-figure collectible, not because it was gold, not because it was ancient, but because of rarity, condition, historical importance, and collector competition. That is the power of numismatics. It teaches us that value is not always obvious. That history can hide in plain sight. That small objects can carry enormous stories. For those watching today, especially those who remember 1975, this coin is more than a potential investment. It's a reminder that the objects we once overlooked may one day surprise you. So before you dismiss old coins sitting in drawers or tucked inside family keepsakes, take a closer look. Examine the details. Learn the history. Understand the context, because sometimes, the smallest pieces of metal hold the biggest surprises. The 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin stands as proof. A silent witness to change. A relic of transition, and in rare, remarkable cases, a $91,000 reminder that history, when preserved perfectly, can become priceless.